Hey, thanks for tuning into today's video. I'm going to be testing my new ROG GR8 Asus console PC. I'm using Bandicam to record and also give us a frames per second readout. And I'm also on the island of Stratus in Arma 3. I've set up this little area here on the airfield with a load of guards and some empty vehicles to really test the frames per second. So let's load in. So this is the options menu, or the video options menu in Arma 3. I'm going to show you what settings I use. And it gives me a fairly nice feel to the game. When not recording, I'm probably averaging around 45 to 50 frames per second. When recording, I'm getting more to 35. I haven't tried this online yet, but I expect that playing online will probably hit my frames per second even harder. But I'll do another video later showing some multiplayer gameplay. So, okay, starting from the top. Sampling is always at 100%. So that just matches the 3D resolution of whatever your display is set here. So that's always at 100% anyway. Well, you can change it, but I don't see the point. So leave that as 100. If you decrease it or increase it, it'll just mess up with things. So textures I have very high, objects I have very high, terrain set as standard, shadow standard. Changing this option doesn't actually really change much. You see, like it. So I just have it set as standard. I'm not a big fan of like overly complex shadows anyway. Particles standard, cloud high. Because I like flying, if you have anything lower than high, clouds tend to like, I don't know, they don't really look or feel like clouds when you're flying through them. So I have them on high. Pip is picture in picture. So when you're flying in, say the A10, and you've got the little screen on your left hand side, that'll show you where your bombs are going to hit or where your rockets are going to land. So yeah, that I have set as high. HDR standard dynamic lighting high. The biggest FPS killer on this screen is probably this option here. Again, because I like flying, I want to see a lot more of the landscape, so I know exactly where I am and where I'm flying to. So I have my overall draw distance set to maximum, which is 12,000. The objects, I have this set to 1500. This can be a little bit tricky to do. 1500. Shadow draw distance, just 100. Again, I'm not really a big fan of shadows. Display, here's all my display options. So this option here, the aliasing and post-process settings. This right here is where you're going to get quite a massive gain in FPS. So just tweak with these settings until you get the FPS that you're actually really looking for. This side here though, so the side with blue and red or blur, rotation blur, depth of field, sharpen filter, turn those off. I mean, they make everything look crap. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at that. You see just how like misty it all looks? Like, I mean, I know this is a dusty place, but I don't like that. It looks really bad. So just turn it off. So video, and just turn it. I mean, you see that, look. Just adds a really weird effect. The rotation blur is when you're, I mean, don't really have it too much on this. When you have your, if you've got a weapon that has a red dot or that sort of thing, you get a lot of blur. Doesn't seem to be too bad now, but I'm going to turn that off anyway, so, or turn it right down, sorry. And the depth of field is also, it blurs the edge of your screen. So that I have all the way down. Sharpen fill all the way down. Ambient occlusion low. I mean, you can disable it if you want. It doesn't really change the FPS on my system, so I just left it as low. Caustic, so that's when you're underwater and you're swimming. You get obviously sunlight trickling through the surface of the water. So this option here, so full screen anti-aliasing, that I've got on 2. Anything lower than 2 and you get really jaggedy edges. I can probably bump it up to 8 without too much of a hit, as you can see. But I honestly don't see it changing much, so I just leave it on 2 just in case. ATOG, all trees and grass. That I have as high. And then that filter there as well is just set as standard. And as you guys can see, it looks actually pretty darn good. I mean, I'm recording right now with Bandicam, and it feels really fluid. Even though, you know, you can see there it's about 30 frames per second, so it's on the edge of like where you wouldn't want to play a game below 30 frames per second. So when I'm not recording, it's actually pretty darn nice. If I just jump in a heli, actually I'll jump in a plane, so you guys can sort of have a look at the cockpits as well. So I'll just run to this one. But it's a really beautiful game. Like I said, I'll watch these animations. The steps come out. That's pretty cool. Jumping in. Excuse the squeaky chair. Firing up the engine. Let's go back to the cockpit. So all these dials here actually, they work. They actually do stuff. Clicking random buttons at the moment. That's weird, I can't flick through weapons. Yeah, look at the animations. Unfortunately, like the throttle on the left hand side doesn't move. Let's get close to installing. The stick moves. The rudder pedals don't, which is a shame. But you never know, they might add that in a future update. Fired off a missile then. I'll get back to my main guns, but that's not working now. Well. But yeah, as you guys can see, if I climb up, you'll see that having view distances set to maximum, especially whilst flying, really help with that just feeling like you're actually part of the game. Water looks lovely. Got a nice reflection coming in as well. And again, frames, I mean, you look at the frames there, 30 frames per second. Just see the If I look over that shoulder again and I'll try and zoom in. Yeah, look, you can see guys there. I mean, that's pretty sweet. This is on my, like I said in the start of the video, this is on my Asus ROG GR8 PC console. And it's running it pretty darn sweet. This is probably the most graphically intense and CPU intense game that I have at the moment. And I purchased it especially to sort of test the system, and also I'm a big fan of DayZ. Got a nice low burn. Too low though. Right, I think it's about time we land this and end the video. Wonder where the air brakes come on this. It does have air brakes. Oh, it does. Wow. This is such a kick-ass looking plane. I don't really know the storyline to Oh, I had my gear down the whole time as well. Yeah, I don't know the storyline to Arma 3, but I think it might be slightly futuristic by the sounds of, by the looks of some of these. I mean, because I'm saying this is an A10. They call this, I mean, you see in the top screen, it's an A164 Wipeout, and it looks slightly futuristic. So, yeah, a bit weird, but it's an A10. It does the same thing as an A10. It looks very much like an A10. Hopefully this isn't going to be too hot. I haven't really gave myself much run up. Okay, here we go. Air brakes on. External view. A little flare. Oh, a bounce. Nice. Thanks for watching.